I have one more for you.
Go on.
Um, Content gating.
Content gating. Yeah. This is,
So let me define it first.
yeah,
So content gating to me is you have a watch a demo behind an email capture and phone number,
yeah,
or you have like a white paper behind an email capture and phone number. So it could be that it depends for me would be like on the assets and the information that you ask. But I think it's interesting to balance the two when you think about what are you showing them and what are you asking for?
yeah. I think a lot of people don't factor in the value that people are having their own data, their own information, and the worries of like, do I care enough to give you my email address, my job title, the company I work for, in order to get this white paper resource that's maybe given away for free from another vendor? Say like a Gartner Magic Quadrant, for example. There will be some businesses and they will give it away for free. And there will be others and it's gated. And if I'm doing my research, I've probably been to the other vendors and I've probably downloaded it. I'm not going to go to the person who's gating it. I also think that there's too much of a focus on wanting to attribute the person involved. It's like, if it's not gated, how do we know that that was a lead that came from us? How do we track it? And, this need for lead generation as opposed to, sales qualified individuals or things like that can actually blinker people from the experience. Yeah, I think that a lot of times people can hold themselves back from delivering better experiences because they go, well, if we can't track it, how do we know that it was through this white paper resource? Which is a real challenge. From a business and from an agency, we would say, why add a barrier? If the goal is for them to read the white paper and then get in touch, why wouldn't the second step be the one you focus on and give away for free? But I do think it is based on the maturity of the organizations, and maybe some of the organizations who are less focused on the, the processes and less focused on numbers will be happier with not gating the content.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that it's like from our side on the testing side, all the tests I've run to gate technically improves conversion rates from, you know, anecdotal. Like my experience has shown that gating content and adding like email capture, whatever works because it generates leads and high quality lead at that, because it might even be artificially weeding out that lower quality traffic. Because if you want to request a demo and you want to see it, you're jumping through the hurdle that's so high that your interest level is so high. So it's almost self-serving. But now, like one of the things that really ticked me off was a kid really ticked off with bad UX. One of the things that like ticked me off was I was trying to find like, I'm not going to out the brand, but I was trying to look for like earplugs because I like going to concerts a lot and I'm not trying to destroy my ears. So I was looking for a specific ear brand, like an earplug, and I didn't like, some of them were a little uncomfortable. So I wanted to find something that's right for me as a user. And I went to this one site and they're like, take a quiz to find the right product. He's like, oh, perfect. Yep. Let me sign up. I want to do it. Or let me take the quiz. I want to see what earbuds are right for me. As soon as I clicked on the quiz, the first thing they asked is first name, last name, email. And I'm like, what? You're asking for my email just so I could see a product that's right for me, so I could learn more. It's like the same thing. Like if someone was like outside of a furniture store and they're like, give me your phone number so you could come inside the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to go somewhere else. Or I'm going to
It's
give you a fake 555 number.
I love using in-store analogies for workflows, which maybe are not what would be expected. And a lot of the times, yeah, you wouldn't just hold someone back. But I feel like there's a quality versus quantity element which people are working towards. And of course, you're going to get some tire kickers. And there's going to be some people who are, entering test@test.com just to try and get it. There's also going to be people who are trying to enter with personal emails. And that doesn't mean they're not interested. And I think, sometimes using company emails as a gated rule is really a question. We had a test recently, and it was cutting about 50% of the people who are trying to schedule a demo. And so, you go back to the business and you go, well, we've got targets to hit. Are they quantity or quality targets?
Right. Right.
Well, it's actually volume. They need more leads. And I'm not saying reduce the quality. I'm saying, well, if you've never allowed those people to schedule demos, maybe they will put in a company email, but maybe they won't. And I think these are always the questions to ask. But it's a great point that you're making. By gating it, it does add a sort of friction, which is a good friction. That if you
Can
give and it can be. I think it depends on the type of content and how invested you are in it. I think for the quiz around the earbuds, there's maybe a question of, you went through the quiz for it to be easier instead of trawling through a product page or product list page. What they've done is they've just added friction, which seemed very unnecessary. Whereas if that was genuinely gated everywhere, then maybe there's a question for it.
I want to build on that point about quality. You mentioned something, you just talked about like the quality of the asset, that like a quiz to find products is not worth my email. To some people, maybe it is. To most people, it's not. Well, then there's a gray area of like, is a watch a demo, request a demo worth an email? Request a demo where a salesperson is going to take their time to talk to you? Like, probably. But like, I can't tell you how many, like in B2B, how many videos I've gotten to that are just hosted on YouTube. And I could have just inspected element and done some really hacker man stuff to just bypass the gate and just see the video, which I'm no stranger to doing. But also, these are just videos that they publicly host on YouTube, and then they just added a gate. And if you feel comfortable hosting it on YouTube for free, that anyone can watch, don't gate it. Like, that's not showing that perceived value. Consequently, the flip side is sometimes adding the gates increases the perceived value. So like, if you have this like new white paper that's so badass, and you're like, we absolutely require your first name, last name, email, and phone number because it's so powerful, and that's in the messaging, that's how you kind of position it, then sometimes people be like, oh, damn, is that good? Okay. Yeah. What else do you need? And I think it's like a little psychology trick. It can be powerful in that way.